against Bassett. And the curveball drops in for a strike, and it's 0-2.
In the world, but it was beyond just the vibe of the team and the organization. He also felt, you were talking about how many guys wanted to be back last year. Winker at the top of that list, Gary.
And he hooks one into right field for a base hit. Chased toward the line by Springer, but it goes all the way to the...
And then just dumping it into right field. Very good hitting on that.
Here's Mark Vientos. He's trying to snap an 0 for 15 stretch. And he takes up and in for ball 1. Hey, Steve.
It's not that bad down here. I can see my breath, but I don't feel too cold. Not a lot of... I can't mess with this hair.
Why? What would happen?
Wouldn't look as good as it does. Gets exponentially more gray every year.
You think it gets more gray in the season or the off season? Swing and a miss. Defensive woes continue. And now Brett Beatty, who's trying to get himself on track, just 1 for 14 to start the season. Turning to action sometime in the next few weeks. And so this is Beatty's time.
There's a reason he's in the lineup today. It's a good matchup for him. So you got to make it work.
Second with 1 out. And that's in there for a call strike 3. So Beatty caught looking. That'll keep you warm. It's like Steve was talking about the possibility of having hat hair. You don't want food beard. The thing is Riz. We were just cool. There's the 1-1 to Siri, and he fouls off the slider, a ball and 2 strikes. I mean, you were cool back in the day.
No. Best thing that ever happened to me is putting on a professional baseball uniform.
That made you cool.
Yes.
You got to hang out on Sesame Street and the like.
And the 80s were great.
Riz is hard to come by. Breaking ball popped foul. Guerrero sprinting for it, and he gets there to make the catch. Nice squeegeeing the water off the tarp. Now in between innings, cleaning off the bases. You know, there was a time when they were soft.
If it gets a little wet, you just slide over the top of it.
Remember when Bryce Harper got hurt doing that a few years ago. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leads off in the 3rd against Griffin Canning in a scoreless game, and he whacks the first slider foul, 0-1. Guerrero struck out his first time up on a fastball. Yankees. And he was commenting about how much he's matured as a hitter.
He said early on in his seeing after pitches. That's one of the reasons that he does not strike out a lot, and he's made himself into not only a power hitter.
Take that every year. He golfs one to shallow right, and Alonso backpedals to get it. Caught it in. Santander strikes me as a guy who,
30 feet.
But now they've moved him in again.
Yes.
And in the first game at Camden Yards, there were 2 home runs hit that would not have. Well, Camden Yards was always considered a great hitter's ballpark until they moved the fences back. And coming, grounded on the right side, and Beatty gets in front of it. So Canning continues to get mileage with that slider. He's retired. Jimenez snuck a base hit through the right side hole his first time up. And this time he fouls back a first pitch fastball. Change up below the knees. 1 ball, 1 here. In 2020, fans didn't get to see him up close because it was, 20. Still just 26 years old. And he fights off the fastball, still 1-2. And they did. They signed him for 10 more years. Canning strikes out Jimenez, and he's able to slam the door on a 1-2-3 inning with his day game tomorrow on Pix 11. Our first regular season game on Pix this year. Then 3 games with the Marlins coming up starting Monday night. Singer takes 33 with a 1,000 OPS in the big leagues. That's a good start, right?
Yes.
Just turned 28. Leadoff double in each of the first 2 innings. And this time he gets a bouncer over the mound. Jimenez has to charge. The throw on the run just in time to get Singer. Here's Lindor, who led off the game with a double for the 2nd straight day. He fouls a cutter into the ground, 0-1. If I'm not mistaken.
I was trying to think, because
And a half swing, and he went around 1-2. Eyes that young man's baseball cap. And there you see was Juan Soto. I mean, maybe Alan Roden is a big Willie Mays fan, and the Willie's game that you'd prefer to emulate, taken high by Soto when it's 2-0. I mean, he had 660 home runs. He could run like the wind. To the Padres and then on to the Yankees. Goes after a high cutter and misses. It's 2-2.
You know, when he finishes a swing.
And he goes down swinging on a fastball. So Bassett finishes off a 1-2-3 inning. He's got Griffin Canning for the Mets. Canning faces Alejandro Kirk and gets his first slider in for a strike. Kirk went down looking on a slider his first time up after Rangers are up 4-1 on the Rays in the fourth. First run Jake's allowed this year. Taken high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. By Sage, the official finance software partner of Major League Baseball. Now George Springer, who's fastballs in this game.
Good 1-0 change up there.
On the other side, where Bassett is doing the pushing of the buttons. Call strike to Springer, 2-2. You would think with a Canning nods agreement. 3-2 coming to Springer. And he got him looking. Fastball on the reacting. There's Will Wagner with 2 out. And he goes after a first pitch slider, 0-1. That's Days has struck out his first 2 at bats. And Wagner takes low and in. Ball on a strike.
Definitely no one wants to get hit, and he can come back with a changeup after that.
And he falls behind on Wagner. And Wagner takes a fastball strike. Not going to get a better pitch to hit than that.
Well, he caught him guessing. You know, these Blue Jays hitters read the scouting report from Houston also. They read that he threw his.
This will be the 7th pitch of the at bat. And that slider's bounced along the line, and Alonso can't get to it. Evaded through a lot of pitches in the first 2 innings. Through 8. Back at the plate with a 3-2 count. And he fouls off another slider.
2 things you don't want to happen as a hitter.
Hall of Famer. 3-2 coming, and it's lifted foul. I mean, the Billy Wagner story was one of the greatest of all time. Young man, I mean, just spectacular. And Wagner takes a low ball 4. He is long. Miles Straw takes a pitch at the top of the zone for a strike. Well, that. And Straw takes up and away, ball and a strike. See, speaking of, they're now 9-1, and that fastball just missed. 2-1. So 2-1 on the way. On the ground, Lindor to his left, scoops and flips, and that retires the side.
Couldn't even hear what you guys were saying because there was so much crowd noise behind me.
Okay. Pete Alonso takes a strike. Pete's Gators are in a battle. I mean, I am just shocked at how many people showed up today on a miserable weather night. You know, the stands are empty and just waiting for the weather to warm up. 2-2 from Bassett to Alonso. And Pete again.
Later, he throws a pitch down to Alonso and gets it for the strikeout. More respect.
Ball on the strike to Nimmo. Bassett's been a little more efficient than Canning so far. There's a good cutter in on his hands, and it's 1-2. It's in 23, and so far tonight, 2-2 now to Nimmo. Nimmo gets one off the hands out to right center field. Straw ranges back and puts it away. Right-hander with that arsenal. As Winker lines one to right, and that's in front of Springer, and it gets on by him, and Winker's off to the races. He's going to round second and go to third. And
one on Springer. Could not get his whole body in front of it to block it. So once it got through, Winker with
Bassett off the stretch with a runner at third. So I was going to ask 25.
If you hit like Vientos did last year, he'd survive for me too. Interesting, the first two pitches, Bassett went right after him with hard stuff.
Winker at third with 2 out. And Vientos lays off the curveball, 1-2. To some extent, he has had more pitch clock violations than any player in baseball.
That's right. Looks like he might have a contact issue. I would know that because I wore contacts when I played.
Bassett seems to have rectified the problem. Not scoring. Vientos, Florida kid, has that hood up over his mouth. It's with Winker at third, and Vientos fouls off the slider, and it's still 2-2.
And then you got Bassett.
2-2 coming, and he struck him out, got him with a cutter. So Bassett able to work out of trouble again. He's got 6 strikeouts. The number 9 hitter walked his first time up, and takes first pitch changeup for a strike, 0-1. RBI double, and that eventually was the difference in a 2-1 game. And it's called strike, and it's 1-2 in that game as well. Pulled on the ground dot toward first, just past Alonso and into right field. Soto has to charge it hard on the wet. Dots one on the outside corner out yesterday. And he lines this one over the glove of Lindor and into left.
The American League hits twice. You don't miss that pitch.
So Canning is out after 4 innings plus.